you get this? So here's what happens is if you make that hard decision once, I'm never missing an event, you're not negotiable. There's no way I ever have to rethink it through with my mind because I've already made that hard decision once. I'm never going to miss. And I can tell you, I'm so glad. I've never missed a convention. I've never missed a weekly business briefing. I've never missed a training. I've missed one weekly business briefing in the entire 8 years I've been there, which was last year. I was sick as a dog. And I was going to go, but nobody would let me leave the house. Because I'm either here doing one, right, out of state doing one, but I've never missed one. So people say all the time, well, I want what you want. I want what you have. Are you willing to do what I did? Which is activities, events, and I never quit. If I quit, it was for 5 minutes. But can you do that? These are all things you can do. So no one can give me any reason why they can't go to convention. And my favorite line when somebody calls and says, hey, I need to sell my ticket. I got 2 of those this last week. One said, hey, I had broke my arm. The other one was like, I don't think I can afford it. I just put my. So listen, let's do this. Why don't you, before you make a final decision, write that down. Before you make a final decision, why don't you give it a week? Before you make a final decision, you've got plenty of time. And make sure you get out to the briefing and the training this week, and then make a final decision. Don't make a decision when your emotions are high. Come out to the briefing and the training this week, and then make a decision. And prayerfully, they'll make the right decision for them. Because if they don't, they're out. And you're never allowed to sell a membership. You're never allowed to sell an associate agreement. The only thing you're allowed to sell are events. And you've got to sell the heck out of this. Because I know that if I can't get you to the convention, I probably can't work with you because you don't know what I don't know. You don't know what I know. You haven't met the people that I've met. I can't work with you. It's too hard. You're way too far behind for you to catch up with everyone else. And when we all come back, it's going to look like you were standing still. So it's important. It's that important. So who here, real quick, is registered already for the convention? Last day was to register. Was there? Stand up if you're registered. I want to really recognize you guys. Give them a big, huge hand. The rest of you all make the hard decision and get it done, because my concern is you won't be here next time I come back. You just won't be. The 8th thing on here is personal development. Just commit to it. I know we don't spend enough time talking about that, and we're going to spend one of the week sessions is going to be on that, but grab a Jeff Olson book or audio out there and just start embarking on your journey of personal development. And I can tell teams that are doing personal development, and I can tell teams that are not. But be careful on personal development because some people have a tendency when they first get turned on to it to OD on PD and they think they're working, but they're not. Have you talked to anybody? No, but I've read Jeff Olson 4 times. I'm like, no, right? The 9th one on here is find a workout partner, whether that's an accountability call, whether it's another person here that you can fellowship with. But I know I have a trainer, and he actually comes to the house, which is just way cool because I will not go to the gym. I just know myself. I paid for the gym membership and not shut it up. But when he comes to the house and knocks on the door, it's kind of hard to not go unless you're hiding. So I usually answer the door so far 100% of the time that he's come over and knocked on the door, so it's pretty cool. So get a workout partner. And the last thing is be here a year from now. And I gotta tell you, I'd say be here 5 years from now because no way would you spend $100,000 to open up a restaurant and say, I'll give it a year, I'll see if it works. You'd be like, no, I'm in it forever till I get my $100,000 back. But because we only have a little bit of your money, the problem is it's easy not to do. And so how many people are excited about getting people started and getting them started right? So I also want to bring up a gentleman who I'm excited to get to know better. I mean, his family is truly legendary in prepaid legal services. It's one thing to have success for yourself, but it's another to have an entire lineage of people who are having so much success. I mean, they're truly not just leaving a legacy, but they're leaving a fortune for every single person that's willing to follow what they've done. I know for a lot of families that we recruit, including the family sitting here, they look up to him. And I've always said, hey, listen, I remember Chris Ward said to his brother, and he told that story again today, he said, we're going to be the next Hughes brothers. So it's kind of fun to see people that are excited about so much success in one family. And so the principles and philosophies that they teach are solid. I'm super excited to be able to be here. And so I want to introduce to you a meeting holder, a gentleman who I have just so much respect for. So could you please stand your feet, give it up for Mr. Dr. Hughes.
All right. Okay, hey, how's everybody doing? All right, I got a few things I want to be able to share with you. First of all, I just thought that Ms. Deering did a fantastic job talking about, really how simple business is, and, giving some really basics, and really that's what this business is all about. But, for our second week here in our builders training, I'm just so excited about that. How many of you guys have never been able to participate to the weekly trainings that we had before this builders training? How many? Raise your hand if you did not, were not able to participate in the weekly trainings. Okay, guys, here's what I want to share specifically to you, is that I want to share with you some stats that we pulled, and Dave Hughes, as the regional manager of Northern Colorado, my brother, he was able to pull some reports that's generated through corporate. And when we were doing the weekly trainings last year, I guess, before they wind up changing over to the Fast Start program, Fort Collins makes up about 1/6 of the population of active associates in prepaid legal in the state of Colorado. But out of all of the production and recruiting, we outproduced the entire state combined. Wow. So it was very common that we would have 300, 400, 500% growth over the previous year. And I can tell you the growth that we experienced only occurred while we had weekly trainings. It did not occur, it was absolutely opposite. It went the other way whenever we didn't have the weekly trainings. How many of you, I see people nodding their heads because you know in your personal business what this does for each one of us. And so I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about seeing the results. I'm excited about seeing each one of you and going through the ranks and having people on your team going through the ranks to be able to advance through the company, making more money, and developing as a person, as an individual, and becoming a family with us. Because some of you guys that maybe are newer in the business, you're coming out and checking out this training, and you're going, well, they say I should go, so I'm just going to go check it out. And I'll tell you what happens is that typically what happens is the people in the back of the room, in the back rows, that, well, not always, but typically, and because I know because there were events that we used to go to the back rows, I'm just going to check this out. And then once we really got it, we started graduating to the front rows. And you want to know why? It's because that's where all the EDs were. That's where all the six-figure ringers were. We want to do everything we could to get around those individuals. We knew that we were already six-figure ringers. We already knew we were platinum executive directors. We just needed time to catch up with us. And so do you, right? Yeah. Okay. So a few things I want to do in recognition real fast is I want to be able to just mention what's going to happen with these trainings. As I go through some of the promotion, I want you to, first of all, recognize these individuals as if it's your #1 person on your team that just went out there and did something this week that we want to be able to recognize. So really hoot and holler for them and let them know that you care about their success, because if you're the one getting recognized, wouldn't you want that same recognition? So let's go ahead and recognize them. If you're in Players Club and over the last, already qualified, what is it, the end of the month, so if you're qualified in February, let's go ahead and recognize all the people in Players Club. Go ahead and stand up and give them a big, big hand. Big accomplishment. All right, and so if you marked a membership in the last 7 days, since the last time we were here, let's go ahead and recognize those folks, and probably be the same people in Players Club. It's good. That works. That's good. That's a lot of memberships over the last week, and that's great. We're going to start seeing a lot more of that. Matter of fact, I remember when we first kicked off the trainings, our weekly trainings, there was just a handful of people that were standing up. And the trainings were about this big, and then they grew to about 200 people, 100 people every week, but over 200 people, and sometimes on a weekly basis. And to be able to see the amount of people in Players Club, to see the amount of production and memberships of people standing up every 7 days that were protecting family with our fantastic service, it was just so exciting to be able to see that. And it happened pretty fast. And so I'm excited to be able to see that happen again. Now, if you've recruited somebody and blessed their lives with this amazing opportunity, we want to recognize those folks. So please stand up if you've recruited somebody in the last 7 days. Great. Awesome. Okay, and just real quick, do we have any advancements here? Before I say this, on the advancements, you know, there were times that we saw, and let me preface a few things about advancements. Anybody that was in the business when we had the different compensation plan prior to November, advancements occurred frequently. And there would be times that we could literally spend half an hour just walking people across the stage, recognizing them for all of the advancements that occurred. Well, they made it a little bit more difficult to advance, but you're also going to make more money. So that's cool. You know, do you want the title? You want the money? I want the money. You know, and so right now, when people advance in our compensation plan, and you're moving from senior associate, you're moving to manager and director, man, y'all, that is a huge deal. It is a big, big deal. And so I don't know if we have any advancements this week, but if we did, we want to definitely recognize you. Was there anybody in the room that advanced since our last week? So normally what we're going to do too is we're going to recognize those people at the end of the month. So we used to do it more frequently, but with our current compensation plan, we're going to wind up recognizing those people, make a really big deal on a monthly basis. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and take a break. We've got a coffee maker. How cool is a coffee maker? You can get some hot tea and cocoa. So anyway, you guys make yourself at home. We've got the bathrooms right behind us. We're going to take a break for less than 10 minutes. And we want to get right back to some advanced training with Miss Deering. So this is going to be really great. Looking forward to it. We'll see you guys right back.